everybody, to another fantastic episode of Pete and Jeremy's D&D Time. I'm your host this time. Oh, wait, my webcam's in a... Why is it... I'm your host this time, and I'm Jeremy. And we've got an awesome cast of players and characters tonight. So, without further ado, let's just introduce everybody one by one. Bang, bang, bang. First, we got Ideal, the sharp-tongued. I'm sorry, other tieflings, but our favorite tiefling. Welcome, Ideal. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
So, Ideal, if I remember correctly, you're basically just here doing your thing, right? Experiencing the world?
Yes, that is correct, more or less.
Yeah, how has that been? Have you been, I know Pete asked you last week, and you've been mostly reading, as it was a very reading-heavy week last week, but how have you been doing since? Still reading, or been more of using that kind of newfound fame of being a fabled tier hero to get yourself in a couple places, you know, little perks that other people might not be able to get?
Yes, I've been using my title to get some perks that weren't available to me before.
Mm-hmm. Anything in particular?
Um,
Or just kind of like cutting people in line at the grocery store and stuff?
You monster.
You know, just mostly proving myself superior to those without a title.
Yeah, you know, everyone wants a title, but not everyone gets a title. It's well, I mean, if ever we get powerful enough, you get a title. But you know, that's just sometimes how it is. You just got to tell people, look, I got a title, man. Like, I can't do anything about how great I am.
Yeah, I'm just intrinsically better than you.
I mean, after all, you are Ideal. So, welcome back, Ideal. It's good to have you. I'm sure this adventure will end ideally. I hope so. We'll have to see. Next, we have back again, booming as always, ChoGal Hammerfist of the Soothing Voice. Welcome, Xavis. Could you put yourself on push talk if you wouldn't mind? You got a little background.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good. ChoGal of the Soothing Voice. Welcome, my friend.
Hello!
With the background noise. No, I'm just kidding.
What do you say that I have the ideal voice?
I think Ideal has the ideal voice, but you've got maybe like tied for the ideal voice.
Well, I mean, does Ideal have a book out?
That's a great point. ChoGal, last we heard, you had published a book, which, if I remember correctly, was called I don't know, something of the Soothing Voice, right? It was about
how to have a soothing voice.
Precisely. How has the sales been? How's that been going?
Surprisingly well.
Has that reached the Central City Times top seller list, or
not yet?
Not yet.
But I mean, it's only a week old, so
yeah, understandable. Have you been raking in the Bartholomew bucks off that, or is that more just?
I just sell it for gold. I gotta live somehow, right?
You know what? That's a fair point. Some adventurers prefer a lap of luxury rather than the normal kind of housing that Bartholomew offers to all of us.
Well, also I started getting into Kuro games.
Oh, I've you know, a lot of people have been doing that. I'm wondering, have you started seeing results? You getting a little stronger?
Yeah, I can feel myself getting stronger already. It's almost as if after this amazing adventure we're about to go on, I could even be faster somehow.
I don't understand how someone could just be faster. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, I'll be able to swing faster.
Yeah, well, I'll believe it when I see it, ChoGal.
Oh, fine. I take your challenge.
So I guess how is writing a bestseller, or not quite a best-selling, but it's well on its way? How's it been writing a novel really change your life? Or
well, it's given me some perspective.
It does it really?
Yes. You know, knowledge isn't so bad.
There you have it, guys. Knowledge isn't so bad. Welcome, ChoGal. It's good to have you. But our third hero tonight, I see over there, Keros. You are looking mighty fly, my friend. You got a cool hat on right now. How are you doing?
Why, yes, it was just something I picked up from the wonderful bag of Bartholomew. This past week I've been quite busy, actually. I just finished construction on the very first surface church of the Conch.
Yeah, I heard about that. So knowing the Conch's, I wouldn't say warmongering ways because that's got a bad connotation, but its interest in liberation, right, and freeing the spirit, right, from by destroying
yes.
the bad the bad religions that would shackle you. Is
Of
it built
course,
on the ruins of like some other temple, or
of course not. It was built in the traditional way by commandeering the shells of some large sea creatures and putting them together in a bit of a large building.
Just lashing
and then
shells
furnishing with only the finest of reclaimed furniture.
Now you say reclaimed. Where'd you get this furniture? I'm just wondering.
It was kindly donated by other churches that had been sacked.
Wow. That's so great that other faiths in the land of DnDTime would support the Conch so willingly. I mean, that must have been quite an arduous journey bringing all of those seashells and shells in the ocean onto land, huh?
It was surprisingly easy.
Oh, wow. How?
But I do have to say that tomorrow is our grand opening. We will be celebrating Tabletop Game Day, and please come with all of your wargame minis. We will be punch and pie will be served in the.
Well, you hear that, everybody? For Tabletop Day, the Church of the Mighty Conch here on the land of DnDTime will be serving punch and pie. What kind of pie?
All kinds. We have rhubarb and
every kind.
We have rhubarb. We have mincemeat. We have apple
meat
and boysenberry.
Boysenberry. Wonderful. Well, Keros, I will certainly be there. I don't know about you guys, but
it's optional, right? I don't have to go, right? Please don't tell me I have to go.
No, believe it or not, this adventure does not send you to Wargame Day at the time.
Oh, thank God.
So I think you're good on that one, ChoGal. And welcome, Keros. It is good to see you, my friend. The Wrath of Conch. And last but not least, Xavis. Welcome back, my friend. Xavis, Unchained last and back to adventuring. How have you been enjoying your last few months of freedom?
It has been good. I have been doing all the things I missed out on when I was in that godforsaken prison.
So, Xavis, you were one of the few adventurers to be cursed by Bartholomew's shop before Roderick came through and brought everything up to code. But ever since being rescued, yeah, you've been really rediscovering life. So, what are some of your favorite things to do now that you're free?
Oh, if I'm being completely honest with you, I just go to Central City and pickpocket everyone.
Just steal from everyone. So is that why your pockets are so huge? You just got comically large pockets, or?
Yes, my favorite target is the mayor. He's just so easy.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you're familiar, but Central City actually has quite a few different mayors. It's kind of like the role of president in the United States. Once you've become the mayor, you're always Mr. Mayor forever. So you can actually steal from many different mayors in Central City. It's a weird little known fact that we didn't make up to create to fill a plot hole that I made one time. So there are many mayors for you to pickpocket.
Oh yes, and they are my favorite targets. The looks on their face and they realize is that their wallets are gone. It's the best.
I guess before we move on, Xavis, I just want to ask, what's your favorite thing you've ever pickpocketed? Like, most interesting object?
This odd golden watch. This pocket watch. It was an interesting one.
Is there anything particularly odd about it? Did it have like strange engravings, or did it tick funny?
It had this hourglass on the front. It was a pocket watch with an hourglass, a working hourglass.
Interesting. So you have to flip it around to make it work?
Yes. That was the most interesting thing I've ever pickpocketed.
That sounds incredibly impractical, flipping it around every every like minute or so. But you know what? To each their own. And to you all, welcome back again. Tonight's adventure is called Pit for a Pharaoh, where you all have been summoned as Bartholomew's adventures. You are paid a stipend for every adventure you go on, based on your adventuring level. Being Fable tier heroes, you would receive 200 Bartholomew bucks now, double the fee of a story adventurer for each mission. And so, you have been summoned to travel forth deep into the burbling mire of the Baradic Swamp, where a anthropomorphic kingdom of frogs, they are small, little, colorful tree frog people, have required your aid. Specifically, their Pharaoh Froggenhoppen II, has has requested from Bartholomew your your assistance. Jeez, words are not going today. Oh, Xavis, can you get that push to talk back going, bud? So, without further ado, you all have left Bartholomew's shop. You've been traveling for a short time, making your way into the bubbling Baradic Swamp. The sounds of frogs and insects and bubbling mud are all about in the air, and a thick stench of decay is omnipresent here. As you look, the land is flat and barren, muck and swamp for miles in all directions. Millions of shades of brown and gray, but not a bit of green. Every once in a while, you'll see the bleached white bones of some long dead creature that lived here, but the frogs are fairly common. You hear them everywhere. As you travel, you begin to come to the outskirts of some old ruins, stone structures that have long since toppled, only a few walls remaining. As you walk through this sunken city, you begin to see overgrowth atop of it, the first green life since you've entered into the swamp. Though even then, the green is sickly and dark with lots of browns. As you travel along, the first thing that really strikes you as interesting is you begin to see small yellow eyes kind of peering out from the darkness in these ruins. What do you all do as you guys start to notice these little beady yellow eyes looking out at you from the dark?
I see frogs.
I'm going to quickly roll stealth, I mean.
Okay, so are you gonna, basically there's a overgrown cobbled road that you've been walking along. However, on either side of it is where it's that mucky, swampy, sunken area. You can try to go over onto the swamp area and like hide behind some ruins, but it's going to be a little hard to do that. So it's just going to be a high check if that's what you want to do. Okay, so go ahead and give me a stealth check. That is a right. I forgot. Xavis, master of stealth. Like the knight,
Xavis is a rogue.
Yeah, you dash behind a nearby pile of rubble, and behind a small broken down wall that most people wouldn't assume could be hidden behind. You are crouched in the perfect angle to not be seen. It's like the wall is shaped like Xavis's body, and you're perfectly behind.
Oh wow! Look at that Xavis-shaped rock.
It's a conveniently shaped lamp.
Yes, it's very impressive.
ChoGal is gonna stand out in the middle of the swamp. Hey, frogs!
Keros stands beside and waves.
Okay.
We are here to help.
Yeah, as you call out, you see a couple of the yellow eyes kind of blink. And when they blink like one eye, then the other eye, in this weird, off-putting kind of way.
Yes, small green creatures, take us to your leader.
ChoGal whispers, I think they're stupid.
After a few, can you two both roll me persuasion checks, or one of you can roll with advantage because the other's helping?
Suppose since I spoke first.
Sure.
You are the one with the soothing voice.
Apparently frogs really hate my voice.
Yeah, you call out and you see some of them like back into the darkness further. They're still looking at you, but
Well, it was a valiant effort.
Xavis,
let us continue.
Well, just a second. Xavis, you feel one bump into you. Apparently you were hiding right next to one and he didn't notice you were there. As it bumps into you, I need you to roll me a Constitution saving throw real quick.
Good.
The DC is
They're
11.
poison dirt frogs out.
Okay.
Really? Twice in a row? Come on.
That's not my best save.
No, I know. You see it's actually still pretty good. You got +2. It's not bad. But you see a little frog person. He's like maybe 3 feet high. His skin is all green with kind of black spots all over him. Got 2 big bulging eyes and a mouth with like teensy tiny little teeth, which kind of are uncomfortable looking as you look at this frog man. And he turned around and looks at you, and his eyes just open wide. And you look
Yeah, I
at him.
instantly stab him to silence him.
Well, you go to do that. However, as you reach for your dagger, you feel where it bumped into you, seeping through the leathers and cloth of your armor. You feel something contact your skin, some sort of viscous poison. And you blink a few times, and immediately you need to dance. And you jump up in the air and you start jumping just up and down over and over, just kind of jumping and dancing where you are. And you can talk totally fine, but you're involuntarily jumping up and down right now. Everyone else can kind of see you. You're very well.
Xavis is saying many things that are not stream friendly.
All right.
The Xavis-shaped rock can dance.
You guys, you see the little frog broing jump out, and he says broing as he jumps. As you see this little green frog man just hop away.
All right, small metallic friend. It might be time to turn the hat around.
After 6 seconds, Xavis, you no longer have to jump as you kind of shake it off. And you see the frog about 40 feet away.
That's it. We're killing all the frogs.
I don't think Bartholomew would want us to kill all the frogs.
We are genociding the frogs.
You're not genociding the frogs. Genocide is not okay.
If you want to genocide the frogs, be my guest, but I'd still rather get the quest done first. Then you can trying to genocide the frogs.
Xavis, you know the rules. The only thing we genocide here are mushroom people.
Xavis is throwing daggers, so.
Disclaimer: the stream does not approve of genocide.
You can make an attack if you'd like. Sure. As you
1 second, I'm just checking something real quick.
Okay. He's 40 feet away, so I think that puts him in the long range of your dagger.
It does indeed. I was just... Yep. Okay, throwing the dagger.
Okay.
If I can... Sorry, my sheet was messing up.
That's all good. Oh, wow. Even with disadvantage, you take the dagger and you throw it. Go ahead and roll me your damage as you hit him. Oh my god, what? Holy...
Wait, is that...
Okay,
did I...
Dagger should not be a D8. That should be a...
Yeah, I was about to say. Oh wait, no. I know why it was 1d8 because my magic item, but that doesn't apply whenever it's. Wait, doesn't apply when I'm throwing it. So I'm going to quickly roll a 1d4.
Okay, cool. And then, so 6 points of damage. Still a ton. All right, so you throw your dagger, and it hits the frog. He's like right about to jump, and it hits him like right in the back of the knee, and he falls over. Ah, God, my knee! Ah! 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 And he's just yelling, and you can see the other frogs,
Xandro.
like the eyes just kind of blink, and they begin to scatter. As you see dozens of other frogs in the shadows flee into the muck.
Kill the frogs! Throwing another dagger.
ChoGal is gonna go over and pick Xavis up by like the scruff of his neck, We'll scruff of his shirt and start dragging him away.
Okay. So the frog.
I'm gonna try to throw a dagger while he's doing this.
I'm gonna try to talk to the frogs and be like, please do not. We're here to talk to your leader. We promise we will not stab him.
You see them all. You can roll persuasion check with disadvantage if you want, because they were still throwing daggers.
I used to be an adventurer like you until I took an arrow to the frog, dear.
Oh God.
Keros, you say that, and
Come on!
Between Xavis's yelling and like where everything cuts out, the only words they can clearly hear are "stab you" as you yell out, and they flee. Can you roll me a athletics or acrobatics check, Xavis, as ChoGal runs over to grapple you?
Okay, acrobatics. I am good at that.
Oh damn! Yeah, you are.
Get back here! You're not stabbing the frogs!
I am stabbing the frogs.
Your dagger goes wide. You see the little frog is still like clutching at his knee. Oh jeez, why'd you do that? Oh,
I'm going to run up and finish off this frog.
Ideal. You haven't made an action yet. Would you like to do anything as this chaos unfolds?
I'm just gonna, you know what? I've decided that I'm just gonna sit back and watch what happens happen.
Okay, actually, you got some like popcorn or something.
Yeah, just sit back, watch, see what happens.
Okay, I dig it. And okay, so I guess we're back. With who?
No one makes Xavis dance in public and lives.
Keros, is there anything you would like to do?
Well, I feel like I've done. I've impacted this scenario enough as it is.
Okay.
You're gonna join me in just watching the chaos unfolds.
All right. Well, Xavis, in that case, it's your turn again. What would you like to do?
I'm going to stab the frog. I'm going to
third dagger.
I'm running closer, so I'm within my 20 feet.
It's actually actually, you can only move half your speed here because of the muck. But if you took your bonus action to dash, then you could get within 10 feet of him.
Yep, because I have cunning action.
But you're still going to be at disadvantage.
Nice.
You're still going to be at disadvantage because he's prone.
Wait.
Still got a 20.
Wait, wouldn't that put an advantage, not disadvantage?
No, a ranged attack against a prone target is a disadvantage because he's on the ground. Yeah, if we were in melee, that would be advantage. That being said, with 7 points, you shoot him in the other knee. There are now daggers sticking out of both of his knees, and he's why are you doing this?
Nobody makes Xavis dance and lives.
I didn't mean it. Oh my goodness! Wow.
Now, friend, we realized this was a terrible mistake, and I think Xavis, I think you owe the gentleman an apology, and we can move on about our business.
No one makes Xavis dance and lives.
I was just collecting grubs for my very large family.
No one makes Xavis dance and lives.
ChoGal, it's your turn.
ChoGal's walking towards where the other frogs were ignoring Xavis because he's done with his bowl.
The other frogs have fled. They're gone.
Xavis has an evil glint in his eyes.
All right. Well, David, do you try and finish off this frog?
I'm going to cast light on Xavis's nose, and it's going to be really bright, and he can't see anything.
I'm also going to try to pick up Xavis again.
Well, you can't actually catch up to... It takes your whole turn to catch up to Xavis because he's so far away, ChoGal. And the muck is so gooey here. But you're right next to him if you want.
Fine. Xavis, I swear if you kill this frog...
Xavis, can you roll me a Constitution saving throw to see how you deal with this sudden flash of light? I didn't expect to be in combat so quickly. What's your spell save DC, Keros?
It is 13.
Oh, it's just 13. So Xavis, you shrug off the light, and Xavis, you can go ahead. Kuro, jeez.
I'm not Kurgot.
ChoGal is right next to you.
Core.
Yeah. No.
It's pronounced. It's pronounced Karen.
Kerosene.
Xavis, ChoGal is right next to you, and you're still 10 feet away from the frog. If you run to the frog, you provoke an attack of opportunity from ChoGal.
Just gonna throw the dagger.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. This time you hit the frog right in the chest, and he's like, "Oh, I'm dead now," and he dies.
just added. Actually, I could also add sneak attack. That was because I'm within 30 feet.
But the attack was at disadvantage because he's still prone.
Ah, true.
Yep. So no sneak attack. But he's dead.
I just wanted to insult the engine. No one makes Xavis dance and lives.
As you all just kind of stand around, maybe befuddled, maybe angry. Oh.
I think he has learned his lesson, and if you let him go, he will tell everyone of your might, and your name and renown will grow.
He's dead.
He's dead.
Well, or you could just, slaughter him.
You see a couple more. You see the eyes
There was no
open back up in the darkness, as it seems like the other frogs are kind of watching. They've kind of returned, no longer as terrified, now that the violence seems to have settled. And one of them kind of climbs out of the darkness. You can see he's another kind of green frog, and they walk on two legs, which is real weird looking, as they're just kind of like walking up to you, their arms kind of wobbling around. And yeah, this frog walks right up to you, Xavis. He goes, "Wow, that was really cool."
Nobody makes me dance and lives. That's a warning to you. I suggest you heed it.
Will you sign my baby? And he holds up like a little tiny purple frog. Little frog.
Sure.
Okay. What are you gonna sign the baby frog with?
I have something really morbid I could do. I could sign it with other frogs' blood.
Oh, jeez.
No, I'm not gonna do that. Should have an adventurer's pack, so I think that might have something in there. 1 second.
You start looking through your stuff to see if you can find anything. Yeah. Everybody else, what do you do? The frog looks at each of you. Oh, hell, I know you guys. You wrote my favorite book.
Yeah, that's right. So can you take us to your leader? I'll make sure this guy doesn't kill anymore.
I'll dip a caltrop in the mud and sign Xavis on the baby.
Okay, can you roll me a sleight of hand check, Xavis?
I am good at those.
Yeah, I've never adventured with this one before, so I will say that I don't.
I don't approve of his methods.
Okay, I don't care. I gotta find the baby. He just kind of puts the baby down on the bed. All right, so
take us to the Pharaoh, please.
Okay.
Just get us out of here. People call me the dumb one.
Apparently people appreciate people who kill their own kind.
As he kind of walks through the mud, you can see the other frogs are no longer as concerned now that he's gotten up to you without getting attacked. And they continue to go about their business. They're digging up things in the mud. They're like hauling. There's like dozens of frogs just hauling this huge rock by ropes. And they seem to be having a very difficult time. There is all sorts of stuff going on. It suddenly becomes alive with little frogs doing various different activities. The frog who leads you introduces himself as Froggy, which that's a weird name. I mean, like it's too on the nose. But he talks to each of you, knowing each of you by your titles. He's a big fan of Bartholomew's adventures, and he leads you down the ruined trail into the city proper, which is still just ruins, but slightly better ruins. There's all sorts of colorful paints on the walls. And things like that. You come up to, in the very center of the city, there are two large structures. One is a large kind of ziggurat with an open kind of top area. Where
No, that's okay. I don't smoke.
there's a big God damn it. There's a big throne up there, and you can see that there are some frogs up on top. You also see nearby it, there is a pyramid that has been built here. Just kind of out of rock that's nearby. It actually looks quite well made for what it is. And as you climb the steps led by Froggy, he gets up and leads you to the front, and you can see a large gold-colored frog, man. I say large, he's 4 feet instead of 3 feet. He's just a little bigger. He sits atop this throne, also carved out of the similar stone here. He wears a crown that appears to be made just out of reeds that are woven together. There are 2 blue-colored grung that stand on either side, the grung being little frog people, on either side of him that hold staves that look to be maybe magical things of some kind. And the Frog King jumps down from his throne and looks to you all. Between you and him, there's a large square pit in the top of the ziggurat. You can look down, it goes down maybe 30 feet, and there's just nothing at the bottom. Just kind of some like mud. And he greets you all. Hello! I am Pharaoh Froggenhoppen of the Grung. And as he says Froggenhoppen, all of the other grung that are nearby, the spellcasters smack their sticks in the ground, and all of them jump in the air and say Froggenhoppen, just kind of in like a chorus. Says, welcome, my adventurers.
Greetings. You have summoned Bartholomew's cadre, and we have arrived. We have only killed 1 of your subjects, and so, as you can tell, we are off to a exceptional start.
That's very true. You're doing way better than I have. I haven't killed any today. And as he says that, you can see another golden grung kind of sneak up behind him with a rock and smack him on the head, and he just falls on the ground. Looks at the unconscious Frog King, back up at you. Hello, I am Pharaoh Froggenhoppen III. And as he says that, all the other grung, Froggenhoppen, jump in the air. My predecessor needed your help, he says, just kind of kicking the former King Grung into the pit.
Yes, very, very good. I suspect you all would enjoy
Wait a second.
The way of the conch.
So, you're saying that if I kill you, I become the new Pharaoh, as he draws his swords.
You're not Froggenhoppen.
I can be. I am Froggenhoppen. I'm gonna roll deception. I am Froggenhoppen.
No, you're not. You're not a girl. Your skin's not even gold like mine. Anyway, I need your help. And he kind of looks down into the pit where you can see the other frog is starting to like wake up. And the problem here is I don't have anything scary in my sacrifice pit. I need you to go wrangle me an alligator.
So you want something to put in the sacrifice pit? Can I suggest throwing all of your subjects in so we can genocide the race?
We're not genociding the race.
Like that. That's very offensive.
Yeah,
I think what he meant to say is you put in some of your more choice.
No, look, here's the thing. I need a giant alligator in my sacrifice pit so when I throw people in, they don't just get up.
Well, how many alligators would
How many alligators what?
Okay.
How many alligators would you like for us to get you?
I just need one really big alligator.
Xavis is gonna try and sneak over by ChoGal and push him in the pit.
No, ChoGal. ChoGal's always watching Xavis. That's what he's
There, you have an alligator.
So what happens here is, Xavis, you run over to push ChoGal and like you slam into ChoGal, but ChoGal's at like 8.5-foot tall Goliath, so you just bonk, hit him, and he doesn't move.
Oh, ChoGal's a Goliath? I thought he was a lizard folk. Never mind, I don't do that.
ChoGal's huge.
Okay, never mind, I don't do that. I thought he was a lizard folk. I was trying to make a joke.
Well, oh, I see what you were going for, because like an alligator, I see.
So where are we going to get this giant alligator to put it in your sacrifice pit?
Probably from the swampy swamps. It's just that way. And he kind of points behind him further into the swamp. That's
okay, but how are we going to get
Sounds good. Sounds good to me. And Keros starts walking off in the direction he...
That's why we hired you. You're supposed to figure it out.
Come, buddy, let's get this alligator before Xavis tries to kill us more.
Please, let's go.
All right. When we're out of range of Froggenhoppen III, I turn to Xavis and say, "When we get back, please kill the Froggenhoppen III."
I intend to.
I will not be there for that. I will not stand by and watch something like that happen. So I'm just gonna go.
You stood by and watched this. You stood by and watched the third kill the second. So I mean, this wouldn't be any different.
Well, that's their business. That's not mine.
So as you make your way down further west along the Baradic Swamp, past the remainder of this ruined grung city, you begin to get to an area. The road completely goes away, and you are just trekking through deep, bubbling mud for the most part. Each step gets you up to like your knees in just muck, and it just bubbles and pretty nasty here. It smells like, well, it smells like shit, for lack of a better term. And after maybe 20-25 minutes of trekking, you get to a large area of just muddy brown water that is clearly not mud. It's maybe a small lake or pond. It's hard to tell. You can't see the other side of it from where you are, so it's got to be fairly large, stretching out into the distance. As you kind of look down into it and push your like a butt of a weapon down, you can see that it's shallow. It's only what, a foot, 2 feet deep, but then there's like the 1.5 feet, 2 feet of mud under that.
So I could just go in waist deep and be fine.
Yeah, pretty much. You'll be trudging through, but hard to see anything.
Well, that looks like a place where an alligator might sleep. Xavis, why don't you go ahead? He's gonna pat Xavis on the back kind of hard to make sure he kind of falls into the mud.
Xavis, always acrobatic and dexterous on his toes, maybe stumbles at the force of your smack, but does not fall. Unless he chooses to. Xavis, do you choose to fall into the mud? I'll take that as a no. All right. So what do you all do? You're just kind of looking out ahead of you.
Let's see.
ChoGal is gonna look for like a nearby stick.
Yeah, I mean there are tons of dead.
And kind of throw it into the middle of it.
Yeah. ChoGal, buddy, I insist you go look for that vampire. I said that alligator.
Vampire? What vampire?
That
anything about a vampire.
Well, ChoGal, as you throw the stick, it just kind of splooshes in the mud, not too far away. Up ahead, you can see a couple of buzzards kind of circling.
Ha!
Nothing.
Yep, sounds like gator to me.
Can I try to hit one of those buzzards with the sacred flame?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want. I didn't expect someone to attack the buzzards, but sure.
Well, we need bait, don't we?
That's a very reasonable.
Can I throw my dagger at the other one?
Can I roll nature to see if I can figure out a way to lure the alligator out of the swamp?
Just a second. I need to roll the dex save for the vulture first. It got a 17, so it dodged your sacred flame. And Xavis, immediately seeing Keros attack, you throw the dagger, you hit with a 16. And let's see how much health the vulture has. The vulture doesn't have a lot of health. You kill it, it falls out of the sky with a dagger stuck in it. The other vulture begins to fly off. Yeah, ideal. You can go ahead and roll me a nature check. That's totally cool.
Xandra,
It might not hurt.
Since you killed it, you get to go collect it and
Splashed into the mud. Like
No.
40
splash it around in the water so that the blood attracts the alligator.
No, I kill it, you clean it. That's the deal.
Since when?
Ideal. I will say ideal. With your 10, you don't know a lot about gators, but you do know that they are ambush predators. As a result, a dead creature on a string, like it will get one eventually because they eat, but you're gonna have to make it seem alive, you think, if you're gonna want to get a bite.
Guys, a dead bird isn't going to lure an alligator out. I mean, it might eat it if it's hungry enough, but they tend to be more.
We should have brought one of those frogs with us.
They tend to go after live prey.
I mean, the village isn't that far back. We can go get the Pharaoh. You make pretty good bait.
If we're gonna lure an alligator out, it would be best to use something that to make either make it look like the bird's alive, or, well, like you said, bring back one of the grunge.
ChoGal, you noticed the bird that was shot down is just kind of slowly sinking into the mud about 40 feet away.
Well, I'm not getting it.
Neither am I. I thought we'd go get the Pharaoh and use him as bait.
Are you sure you
He's the one paying you. Just
you have to remember. Well, let's wait until after the Pharaoh pays us before we kill him.
Ah, yes, you're right. Let's go get all of his attendants. Then they can't stop us when we try to kill him.
Is it close enough? Is the bird close enough to the mud that I could just reach out and grab it?
It's
with my long arms.
It's 40 feet in.
Through.
Oh, well, I'm not risking that. No, I ain't about to get attacked by a gator. Are you kidding me?
So y'all are still just standing at the edge of this muddy, shallow lake, just too afraid to go forward as the bird that you shot down just sinks into.
You know what? I have an idea.
Under the water.
I'm gonna cast frostbite on the mud to cool it.
Yeah, I mean that works.
I mean it's a cantrip, so I can just cast it over and over again.
Yeah, I mean it works to like a small degree, but
to cool it as I go out to get the bird.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you could definitely use that, like, to help you specifically. You could use your action to not restrict your own movement if you want.
Yeah, that's the entire idea.
Yeah, I will note alligators are cold-blooded, so if the temperature gets too cold, it will just put it to sleep.
Exactly.
So, Ideal, you begin to trudge out in, just fine, I'll get it. And you go out, you kind of freezing the mud as you go. There's so much mud, it's hard to freeze a lot of it at once, especially with a cantrip. But you're able to help yourself out a little bit, so you don't get too muddy and gross more than you already are. Yeah, you get out to where the buzzard sank. Can you roll me an investigation check, as it's not visible right now?
Sure. I don't find it.
You're reaching around, and you're like, that's it. Wait a minute. Wait.
Nope, that's a gator.
Aren't scaly. And you get attacked by an alligator.
That's why we don't go in the mud.
As you put your hand right on its nose. What's your armor class?
12.
All right, so it grapples your arm up to like your shoulder, and it has you in its big alligator mouth. And can all of you roll me initiative?
My hat is on backwards.
Oh, you're
I spin. All right, little man, do your job.
The little modron on your hat spins to life and then flips your hat around, making you look super cool and ready for battle. Alrighty.
So I guess I get 16.
Yep. So Keros,
it won't roll at advantage for whatever reason.
It's all good. With that, Keros, you get to go first. What would you like to do?
I am going to.
Mud. An alligator has latched onto your friend's arm. It has 3/4 cover. It is barely visible.
I'm gonna walk over there and I'm gonna cast Inflict Wound.
Well, the problem is it's 40 feet away right now, and the mud is difficult terrain, so you can only travel 15 feet per move action. You guys split up already. So do you just start trudging over there? Or?
I'm gonna... trying to figure out what...
Well, Sacred Flame ignores cover, so that's not a bad idea if you want to start moving over and then Sacred Flame it.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, cool. So you cast your Sacred Flame. The alligator is going to, or I keep saying alligator, it's a crocodile. It is going to roll.
It's a vampire. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's a vampire, of course. Guys, totally a vampire. Yeah, your Sacred Flame burns it and scalds it with divine energy, kind of beaming down through the mud, hitting the alligator hidden beneath. And yeah, that actually really hurts it. It's you guys can't really tell, but there is blood in the water around Ideal right now. And with that, we move to next in initiative, ChoGal.
So, well, I guess now's the time to go in. ChoGal's gonna wade through the water, keeping his wits about him, taking the dodge action.
Okay, so you only get 15 feet as you're dodging and wading toward Ideal. Excellent. The crocodile begins to spin. As it spins around, it has advantage in its attack against you. What is your armor class again, Ideal?
12.
12. As it spins around, another 9 points of damage. As it begins to tear up your arm that it has latched onto. Which hurts, but not as much as it might for other heroes. And as you can now see it more clearly, it has lost a lot of its cover due in its death spin. You can tell this is like a sizable alligator, but this is not a giant one. This is just a regular sized one.
Oh no.
Xavis, what would you like to do?
How far is it from me?
It's 40 feet away. You can see it is ripping into Ideal's arm. Ideal, are you like screaming out at this, or?
Most likely. It's trying to rip my arm off.
It is certainly doing that. And yeah, Xavis, what would you like to do?
I am going to use a cunning action to dash towards it.
Okay.
Is the ice still cold enough that I can move at my full speed?
No, it's not, unfortunately.
Okay, and then once I get close, I guess I'm just gonna throw my dagger.
Okay, so that's gonna get you 30 feet with your. I assume you're not dodging, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that gets you to within 10 feet of the crocodile. Go ahead, or the alligator. Go ahead and make your attack. As you run forward, you throw your dagger. You will hit with a 24. Go ahead and give me your damage, and you have sneak attack because Ideal is right there with him.
That was not supposed to be a 7. That was meant to be a 4.
Okay, so it should be an 8 plus your sneak attack. Alrighty, and with that, your dagger flings out and stabs the crocodile in the head. It seems to die. The sharp dagger punching through its. Ideal, it is your turn.
Now, guys, it's dead, but we're supposed to be making an alive one.
Yes. Maybe next time we find another one. First, don't get bitten. Number 2. Don't kill it.
Ideal, what would you like to do?
Ideally.
It is your turn.
Yeah. Well, let's see. The alligator is dead.
And you pull your arm out, your mangled, harmed arm.
You know what? I'm gonna try and get out of this mud.
You begin to trudge back toward your party.
Yeah.
Okay.
While dragging the dead alligator behind me.
Okay, so your whole turn gets you like 15 feet because dragging a creature is going to take out half your speed, and then the difficult terrain is going to take half your speed.
Hey, is ChoGal close enough to take it now? Because ChoGal wants to use it as a weapon.
He's very close to ChoGal. He's like 5 feet away. Yeah, he's actually close enough to hand it off. He's only 5 feet away. So yeah, you hand.
I've got this. Don't worry.
All right.
Keros, it's your turn. And actually, at this time, what is everyone's passive perception?
13.
9!
11.
Okay. And Xavis, what's your passive perception?
My passive perception is 12.
Okay. So as you continue to go, and actually, let me see this vulture. Yep. The vulture flies down to where the dead alligator is, and it tries to get it from you.
No, bad. Get away!
You batted away with relative ease.
And I'm gonna throw a dagger at it.
Well, it's not your turn yet.
Oh, we're still in turn order?
Yes, we're still in turn order.
Ah.
Keros, what would you like to do?
Wow. It's my. I think it's still my turn.
Yep.
I would. Looks like your arm is really bad off there. It'd be really nice if we could heal. Oh, that's right. I think I have something for that. Oh, yeah. Here you go.
Oh, excellent! A healing touch, a cure wounds.
Oh.
What is the Conch healing like?
It is a soothing breeze.
Is it a soothing voice?
It's like a sea breeze washes over you.
Yes, it is like a very strong sea breeze.
And you're healed for 5 points. Excellent. ChoGal, what would you like to do? You have this alligator now. You've taken it from Ideal.
Good, this is my alligator. I'm actually gonna, like, wave it around in the water a little bit.
Okay.
Because obviously this thing isn't alone. Are you kidding me? I also know that they might be pack-ish animals, sort of. Pack hunters.
Can you roll me an animal handling check as you try and bait out alligators with your dead alligator?
Here, alligator, alligator, alligator.
That's actually not too bad. As the alligators that have been lured in by the blood and thrashing of Ideal spring their attack. There are 4 alligators. One is going at each of you. So we're going to roll at Keros first. They are coming just out of the mud, out of the darkness. You guys didn't see them coming miraculously, as you're not very perceptive. So they're attacking with advantage. Keros is going at you. That's a 15 to hit.
No,
quite.
Not at all.
You bat it away without difficulty. One
Shield.
is going. Oh yeah, with your shield, of course. One is going at Xavis. A 17 to hit you, Xavis.
That hits.
An alligator latches onto your torso. Actually, ChoGal, this alligator goes after the dead alligator you're holding and grabs onto it for 16 points for 10 points of damage and begins to rip it apart. So you
Hey, my alligator! Bad!
But there's an alligator on your alligator. And
Alligators are bad!
There's a vampire on its vampire.
Yeah, vampire is a vampire. There are only 3 of those. And so
Vampire alligator.
Xavis, it's your turn. There's an alligator on you. What would you like?
He's gonna stab into said alligator.
Okay.
I'm trying sneak attack. The sneak attack also gets doubled.
Yeah, absolutely. As you're just like, oh no, shot, and you stab down into it. Your friend's nearby giving you the little bit you need to get that sneak attack in. For holy jeez.
I also have swashbuckler, so I don't even need them nearby.
Oh yeah, and with your short sword, right through the head of the alligator, you kill it. It's dead.
And then I'm gonna use. I also have my dagger I can attack with, so I'm gonna. How close is this next closest one to me?
Close enough that you can wade up to it. It's about 10 feet, probably.
Yep. Okay, and then I'm gonna slash with the dagger.
All right. Unfortunately, you'll miss with that with your dagger slash. And we are down to Ideal. Ideal, what would you like to do? As you see your friends have just been attacked by alligators. One of them instantly killed.
I'm gonna attack the other alligator with casting Shadow Blade and summoning
oh shit!
And then throwing it the blade at it, which I can do.
Oh, sick! You conjure a blade of pure shadow, and do you say any like brutal arcane words or something in like infernal or something? Since you are a tiefling, or you just conjure it with your own magical powers.
I just conjure it.
Awesome. You actually would have advantage in the attack here. You're kind of in perpetual dim light in the Baradic Swamp. The sun doesn't really shine through here from the cloud cover. And actually, the 11 will hit it. As you throw your Shadow Blade, go ahead and give me your damage. Which one are you attacking? The one attacking the dead alligator or the one attacking Keros?
The one attacking Keros.
Okay. And, oh, wow. Unfortunate roll there, man.
I know.
Damage, that'll do, but
It's psychic damage at least. So.
yeah, that is true. The alligator kind of recoils a little bit, a little confused. And I'm sorry, which one was that, Keros?
Yeah, it was the one attacking Keros.
Excellent. So as you do that, you can all see right behind. Let's see which one of you this is. Oh no! Right behind Xavis, you see a large pair of like nostrils, kind of come out of the swamp, and a gigantic crocodile mouth lunge out at him. So I'm gonna roll its.
Bring it on, you giant reptile!
Unfortunately, it was stealthier than you guys' passive perception was. As it goes to bite at you, you don't see it coming, and it latches on and begins to flail you. This creature is huge. It must be 25 feet long.
Bring it on, you little lizard!
It grabs you in the torso and begins to flail you around. And
I'm not scared of a little tiny lizard punk.
Yes, ChoGal goes after this. ChoGal rolled worse than the giant alligator.
Well, screw you, alligator. Even though he got a more than a 14 initiative? Wow.
Oh no, ChoGal, you should have gone after Keros.
Yeah, so it's like,
I
why?
apologize. Sorry. You can go
It's
right
too
now.
late. Too late to
Okay.
Please, go now.
So I dropped the gator I was holding.
Okay.
And I'm going after the gator that just snapped my gator. That's my gator!
Excellent. Okay. Go ahead.
I'm actually going to bonus action Thunderous Smite.
Oh shit. Okay. And what's your weapon?
I have a Morning Star actually, and I also have a longsword, but I'm using a Morning Star.
You take your large spiked morning star and smack him.
That's
first you roll to
just
hit.
the Thunderous Smite thing.
Yep. You gotta roll to hit first though.
Yeah, I have to roll the hit first. And so Morning Star.
Oh, nice. That will definitely hit, and the alligator actually got a 4. It should not have advantage. As you bam slam it, your maul kind of going into the mud for a minute and coming out under the alligator. You send it flying through the air with your thunderous smite as it gets thrown backwards, and it looks like it falls into a couple pieces 10 feet away, having just barely killed it.
My gator.
But
Remember to spare the large one.
let's roll. Let's see the D100. Let's see how good your dead alligator is. Your dead alligator's ruined. I'm sorry.
No.
With that, Keros, we're back at the top of the initiative order. I'm gonna just paste it here so it's easy to see.
Don't worry, you can get a new dead alligator.
That's true. Keros?
Okay, the one in front of me is still alive, correct?
Yes, he is.
So I'll go after that one.
Alrighty. Yep, you'll hit him with that. No problem. Take your trident and stab it down. The alligator just kind of blinks a little bit, like or whatever alligator sounds make, and it snaps.
I don't think I have anything bonus.
Oh yeah, so the
Unless you're
Thunderous
feeling
Smite
more
also
something.
makes a very loud noise within 300 feet, which is pretty distracting. Does the big
true.
gator get distracted?
No, but the vulture flies away.
Yeah, good.
The vulture kind of gets hit by the shockwave of the thunderous smite and just kind of like flies off.
He's like, nah, I'm out.
So Keros, you stab down and push the alligator back a little bit, but it is not quite defeated by your hit.
Oh, I do have one thing I can do. I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Oh! Yeah, that's a pretty big bonus action. Go ahead. That's a very good one. Where's your weapon going after? The giant one, or?
Yeah.
All right. Unfortunately, spiritual weapon. What does it take the form of when you cast it? Your magical weapon of the conch.
It is a giant conch shell.
The giant conch shell goes to bludgeon the giant alligator, or the giant crocodile. But unfortunately, they both start with letter C: crocodile, conch, and they just don't hurt. It doesn't hurt him. Weird how grammar can, or words. Yeah, whatever. Grammar can do that.
It lasts a minute.
Yep, exactly. So you can use that every turn.
Yep.
And we jump to the next in initiative, which is ChoGal again. Now that
Hello!
we're not skipping you, what would you like to do?
How close is the big gator?
He's right nearby. He's only like.
Oh, good. Because I'm
And
going to
he's
channel
throwing-
Divinity, Vow of Eternity, so
Oh,
I can
geez.
get some advantage on this creature.
Alrighty, you swear your vow of eternity. That's so brutal sounding. Holy crap.
Yes, and then I'm also going to Hunter's Mark for bonus
Oh,
action.
damn. Alrighty, as you mark this giant croc for death.
Oh, that didn't actually mean to roll the damage.
That's all
you
good.
know what it does. And then,
Yep.
well, guess you're my new croc.
You start wading over. Well,
Oh,
actually,
crap.
isn't it an action to the vow of eternity?
Channel Divinity, is it an action?
I believe it is.
I'm actually on a cleric page right now. I can look at it.
I'm not a cleric, I'm a paladin.
It's not channel divinity. Is it not the same thing?
Yeah, I think they actually are the same in this case. But we can figure that out. I've got it open right here.
Well, if it is, I'll just use this the action to channel Divinity and bonus action to Hunter's Mark because he's mine.
Yeah. If you can look that up real quick, do that. If it is, and if it's not an action, then we'll go with that hit.
Channel Divinity. Your oath allows you to channel Divinity, Divine Energy to fuel magic. Each channel Divinity option, provided you choose which option, you must.
You can just read it and let me know, and we'll
It depends.
jump into that.
Yeah, it depends on what it is.
Yeah, I think it does depend on what.
So if you just check that for me, and then we'll get back to you if that is.
Yeah, it'll be the vow of eternity, whatever.
So the crocodiles are gonna go. There's only one left. It's the one near you, Keros. It's gonna lunge up at
Wait.
you, now attacking normally.
Okay.
Well, as it,
Oh, wait.
this is
No.
the regular ones. It's a 13. You once again easily rebuff it with your shield, protected
Yes.
by the conch. It's conchy shellness protecting you.
Yes.
And with that, we move to the next in the order, which is Xavis.
Xavis is gonna use an item he hasn't used yet. He
Okay.
pulls out this item that is definitely not a fidget spinner. That's called the hypnotic spinner.
Oh no! You take out your fidget spinner and you...
No, it is a hypnotic spinner.
Okay. You take up your hypnotic spinner and you spin it on your hands in a way not dissimilar from a fidget spinner.
Have this thing make a wisdom save.
Alrighty, as your spinner spins, the giant crocodile looks at it and kind of gets a daze in its eyes, and
It fails. It's charmed now.
Oh shit! How long does that last?
A minute.
Alrighty, so as that happens, it immediately lets go of you, no longer seeing you as a threat. Just as a note, those charm effects, I believe they end if you attack it. However, yeah, it's not attacking you. You're good.
I'm going to start leading it away.
So I figured it out.
Yeah, what's up?
The Vow of Eternity is a bonus action, and my other Channel Divinity is an action. So
Okay,
I won't
well-
be able to Hunter's Mark this turn, but I did do the attack.
Okay, I was gonna say, or you could just do 2 bonus actions and we'll use 1 as your action. I really don't care. Would you prefer to just double up on the 2 abilities, or do you want to get the attack in?
I want the attack in.
Okay, so your Hunter's Mark.
But I should
hasn't
also
happened
roll
yet.
again because I forgot that it's with advantage.
Yeah, so go ahead and give me that.
Just in case that's not a craze, whatever.
So it's gonna be 10 points on the giant croc.
Yeah. I will note this is before I use hypnotic spinner, so it's
Yes.
still.
Well, Xavis, it's only if you attack, I think, right? The item.
No, I think it's if anybody attacks it.
Was it
no,
against the large one or the?
It was against the large one, and it's only charmed by him. So
Well,
that's
no. Any damage. Well, the way most charm effects work is any damage will break the charm effect.
I see.
Yeah, that's how most of the charm spells work. It's,
Oh wait, no.
even though it's one, even though like only one person, even though like it's a charm by one person, like if any of your allies attack it, it immediately
Well,
breaks
the hypnotic
effect.
spinner should have given the hypnotic pattern spell action, not charm.
Oh yeah, it's hypnotic pattern says it. The creature becomes charmed for the duration.
I see. So hypnotic pattern is what we want to look at.
On a failed save, the creature. Oh, I didn't read it all the way. The creature has charmed for the duration. While charmed by the spell, the creature is incapacitated and has a speed of 0. So it's charmed, it's also incapacitated with a speed of 0.
Yep. So any attacks would have advantage against it. However, if anyone hurts it at all, it wakes up.
Yep.
So
I technically heard it first,
Well,
though.
it can't move anyway, so...
No,
well,
yeah,
right
you
now
hurt.
it can't do anything, actually. It's just out for a minute. What do you guys want to do? I don't think we need to stick an initiative if
ChoGal's gonna rope him up!
you start roping him up.
Let's just carry him back to the pit.
Triple tied the knot around.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
take
helping
more than a
ChoGal do
minute.
this.
It's going to take more than a minute to get him back to the pit.
Well, triple tying the knot around his snout and like his body so he can't like roll a bunch.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm helping ChoGal.
I'm also helping because I have really high dex, so I can do this better.
I was going to say, you're going to need a sleight of hand check because shaking
I'll roll sleight of hand.
shaking the crocodile will wake it up. So Xavis begins to tie knots with everyone kind of helping. Or who's helping to tie him up? ChoGal?
ChoGal!
Cool.
I can help you. I have an advantage.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So that 15 was exactly what you needed. You have, I guess, bound the gator.
Yes.
You've bound his legs together. During that takes your minute to tie him up good. However, Ideal and Keros, is there anything else you would like to do during this minute to try and restrain or otherwise incapacitate?
Was the gator that was right next to me, was that one dead? Or is that
no,
still
it's still
attacking me?
It's still attacking you, but it's
I want to go ahead and just kill that one. Just say.
okay. Yeah,
Can we say-
you kill him. Yeah, you RP kill him.
Okay.
He dies. You just stab him a few times with the trident, and he's
Just freaking die!
Ideal.
I'm gonna-
Is there anything you would want to contribute while the gator is kind of he's zonked out in this crazy hypnotic?
I take a trophy, a gator head trophy.
You take the time to saw off the gator.
Well, I'll just take the whole gator. I'll just take the whole gator.
Yeah, you got the right idea!
So that's too much work. I'll just take the entire gator.
Okay. Ideal.
Yeah, I'll drag
I
one of
need
the
some-
dead gators to the shore and then just take its
Okay.
skin.
Okay, you start skinning a gator on the shore.
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
makes gator skin
Waste
boots
not, want
and
not.
whatnot.
All right. So y'all have gotten the alligator over to the shore. It's now awake. As it wakes up, you have collected your trophy and you have begun skinning the gator. And I need to look at Rope and see how much health Rope has, or what the DC is to break it. It's a DC 17 strength check, and it's strength, not athletics. Okay.
Strength.
So the way I'll treat this, you can see the alligator immediately begins thrashing as soon as it wakes up.
Oh yeah, I'm also on top of the gator.
Let's get this
I'm
thing.
gonna try and knock out the gator.
Oh, you're just gonna try and like beat it over the head? Okay.
I'm also
no,
gonna do
no.
that.
I don't know if this counts, but I have powerful build, so I count as large for weight purposes, and
You could carry the gator then.
yeah, I'm gonna probably like
Sorry,
lift.
you can drag it. It's
I'm gonna-
huge.
We continually just beat it over the head as we go.
Yeah,
Well,
make sure it stays knocked out.
Still has a ton of health, so I'm gonna roll for this gator to try and
Oh.
bust out. It's gonna roll at
Well-
disadvantage because of ChoGal,
Yeah.
as it almost busts out but doesn't.
No, bad gator.
So while it's tied up, you guys can take a round of attacks on it if you want. And we'll see if it busts out. ChoGal, you're taking your turn to hold it down, so you wouldn't be able to make an attack against it.
Well, I can't God of War this and beat him while I'm on top of him.
Not if you
Hey.
want to really hold him down.
Okay, I suppose.
ChoGal has a soothing voice. He's not the god of war.
I'm gonna give it.
Unfortunately,
He's
yes,
not
that
crazy.
is.
You know what?
ChoGal with the soothing voice. God of War. That's your new title.
So,
That's your next title.
well, you're knocking him unconscious here. I don't think you can stab him unconscious without, like, risky.
No. I'm hitting him. I'm hitting him with the trident. I'm not
with the blood part.
Yeah. I'm
All
just.
Bam!
I'm also hitting.
If your weapon doesn't,
I'm also hitting him with the blood side of my weapons.
If your weapon doesn't normally do bludgeoning damage, I'm gonna need you to roll me a D4 for the improvised damage.
Oh.
I'm sorry, bud, and you're gonna be adding your strength to that as you kajonk him. How much health does this gator have? Let me actually find out the exact number. Has so much health. Holy shit.
I mean, do I have to roll a D4 since I'm using the dash slapper, which makes my weapon do weapon D8?
You're correct. Your dash slapper. Perfect. You have your oversized dash slapper glove. It's a ball game mitt, if I'm correct, right?
It is?
Yeah, I don't know. I've got no idea.
Oh well, I'm gonna hit him with the con.
Oh yeah, and you begin to. All right. Never just roll me around of damage, except
The dash slapper is meant for improvised weapons.
Go ahead. You don't miss. It's on the ground. It's just tied up. ChoGal,
All right.
some damage too, and we'll see if it goes unconscious before it gets up.
I'm wrestling it, so it's going to be like just barehanded bludgeon damage.
Yeah. Okay. So just your strength. What's your strength modifier, ChoGal?
4.
That's
All right.
there for my 2 attacks.
5. And it's gonna be
Actually, since I'm using dash slapper, I can just grab a rock and it becomes 1d8 damage.
exactly. You just bludgeon him with a rock. And Ideal, can you give me your damage as you attack it also?
Can I attack with my Shadow Blade since it does psychic damage instead of physical damage?
Yeah, actually, I think you could. I think you could do that. That sounds reasonable to me. You don't have to roll. You can just give me the damage. Oh, I guess you're hitting that. Holy shit. Okay. Alligator is now going to get a second turn to try and bust out. It does not. And I think actually at this rate, yeah, you bludgeon it unconscious. I thought this was going to be harder than it was. You guys just beat the alligator into unconscious.
ChoGal's dragging him now.
No, ChoGal, you throw it over your shoulder. It's huge.
Yeah, just
you
let's go.
it. And you all drag. Oh, jeez. You drag this big dumb alligator back into the grung city. As you get in, there's crowds of cheering grung, like, yeah, we did it! Look, it's a big alligator! They're all very excited and cheering for you. There are like maybe like 1,000 grung in the square. There are so many grung.
Okay.
Xavis is gonna whisper to his allies, "What do you say? We just let the alligator go and kill a few of them, then catch it again."
We're not doing that.
No. All right, everyone, go ahead and put the gator, untie the gator, put it in the hole.
How about we put it in the hole first?
It's unconscious. It's not getting up.
Just in case.
And it's just kind of lying there. And Pharaoh Froggenhoppen hops off his chair and takes a couple steps forward. Wow, good job. That looks great. That's exactly the bigness I wanted it.
Now, why don't you go down and measure it real quick?
Oh, hell no. That's his job. He says, just like smacking one of the blue grung, one of the wizards on the back.
No. It needs a kingly measure.
Just give us our bucks so we can leave.
Mr. Pharaoh, can we have our cash?
Oh, yeah. Who had it? He says, looking down at the blue grung in the pit. Nah, I'm
ChoGal jumps down and like holds it. Actually, no, he doesn't do that. I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab the king and hold him over the pit.
No,
That was like one of his inner monologue
things. A
things.
Constitution saving throw.
I know I would have to do that.
Yep, so go ahead and give me the con save. Yeah, you grab him. Where do you grab him by?
By the back of his neck.
Oh, what are you doing?
okay, I'm gonna make an attack.
Pay us. You will either pay us or I drop you into the hole.
This is not very nice. As you do that, one of the blue grung steps forward and holds out his staff at you and says some arcane mutterings. I'm going to need you to roll a wisdom saving throw. The DC you're looking for is 15. And you become a frog as you are polymorph into.
And
that makes him drop into the pit, doesn't it?
Yeah,
the king was over the pit. when he did this, so he just probably dropped into the hole now.
Can we just get our money?
The king is at the bottom of the pit. That was not very nice.
I obviously just go Reddit since I'm a frog.
Yep.
ChoGal's gonna pick him up and put him on his head.
No, I want him. Simul.
Sorry, I can't do that. Bartholomew would not be happy.
I heal the gator.
You heal the gator. The king hopped out of the pit.
Oh, you said he was in the pit.
He hops out in a single bound. He can hop real high. And
okay, so
he gets you your money, gives you your money, and congratulations.
No. I'm going to walk up to the. I'm going to walk.
That's it. We're done.
That's it. We're done. Please.
200 Bartholomew bucks, 1 experience point. Congratulations, you completed the adventure.
I'm going to attack this guy.
And then the crocodile wakes up. And
ChoGal left after he got his money. He just left.
For playing.
Xavis is going to attack the king.
Xavis gets murdered by 1,000 grung.
Can I at least roll my attack to see if I kill him?
You can roll an attack, buddy, but I don't think you're going to one-shot this grung. He's a gold grung. He's not a coward. He's not a pansy. Yeah, I
can never take attack.
But your 12 points of damage does not kill this grung, and Xavis is brutally murdered.
Oh no, sucks to be him. ChoGal leaves.
I'm gonna take the points. I'm gonna take the kill. Add to my kill count.
That one does not count, Jeremy. That's bullshit.
Pete, welcome.
Well, I will. I get to keep the gator though, right? The one that
you keep the gator.
Then I'm fine.
And with that, thank you for playing, everyone. Thank you for watching, everyone. And that is the end of our adventure tonight, or this adventure. After this, Pete and I